I'd like to call this meeting to order. It is August 14th. Jenny, will you call the roll?
Mr. Murray.
Here.
Mrs. O'Connor. Here. Mr. Parnell.
Here.
Mrs. Schaefer. Here. And Mr. Dibble.
Here. Will you rise and join me in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Thank you, Ray. Do I have a second? Second. Thank you, Julie. Jenny, will you call the roll?
Sorry, Mr. Murray.
Yes.
Mrs. Schaefer.
Yes.
Mrs. O'Connor.
Yes.
Mr. Parnell.
Yes.
Mr. Dibble.
Yes. I'm just amazed we're already to August. School's starting in moments. It's great to see all the teachers back. We had a phenomenal ceremony the other day.
Yep.
But I'm sure we'll cover that a little bit later. So it's good to get our wheels back under us and moving again. It's good. Matt, do you have any comments?
Ben, just to echo what you said about the convocation on Friday, I thought it was very positive for the whole staff. It was nice to have all of us together in the same room, so certainly appreciate the board's support of that and the executive team in the back row for all their work, and the East administration too for making it come together. So that was it. We're excited about Wednesday and we're ready to go.
Jenny?
No, just I'm amazed that school starts, in 2 days? And so it's kind of crazy. As far as on the fiscal front, before October 1, so next month we will be finalizing our budget, our appropriations. So we start school back and get right back into that. But yeah, it was a very nice convocation on Friday. The one thing I did notice, Mr. Miller, was that usually when you get that many people in a room, that you have sidebars going on. I didn't see that. You had their attention.
That was good. Yeah,
So-
I think the video of the kids helped.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was the highlight.
Yeah.
That's why I spoke before the kids. Thank you.
Good, excellent. Okay, we have an opportunity for public comment. If anybody would like to come up and address the board, this is your opportunity. Seeing no one, we'll move on to the next item. Board reports, board policy committee. Anything going on with policy?
Yes, we do.
Just Rob, you need to come up and
Yes,
tell us about it?
right, yeah.
We have a policy committee meeting this Thursday. You'll notice there are some policies for first read. We are working with Neola. Neola has been going off their VPN and now putting it into board docs, and there's been some confusion on who enters the information. That's why you see board policies for approval, which basically have been done for quite some time, but trying to get them caught up and updated. So we're just trying to catch up with the system. Now, the good thing is now we have control to update policy right away. So we can update policy today and it's current tomorrow instead of waiting 2 to 3 months and checking it. So the process is taking a little bit of time, but it's better on the end now, just a little delay. The one thing that we will be waiting for is with the passage of House Bill 410, the truancy legislation. We are still, I talked to Norm on Friday about it, and I said we need that policy. He says I'm waiting for it too. Should be any day, because there'll be a big change in our attendance policy, because now we have to also notify individuals even if they have excused absences. It does not make a difference. Once you hit a certain number of excused absences, we have to call you and have a meeting. So it's one of those legislation bills that we talk about, one of those mandates. That why in the world did they put that in there? But now they've also added that even if it is an excused absence, and we've had some parents that have children that participate in gymnastics, that missed school, and we informed them, just want you to realize that by the end of September, we would have to call you in and have a meeting because according to House Bill 410, you are now considered chronically absent, even though they may be excused absences. And so it makes us think about our high schools when we have college visits. They count against students. And so this will be an interesting House bill, and this will be an interesting policy to see what it does in our buildings moving forward. So I just bring that to your attention as well. Hopefully we'll get that policy soon. Hopefully we have it by Thursday so we can discuss it in our committee and move forward with it. So.
Rob, is there a plan to notify our families, since that's a drastic change in our
Yes.
practice?
Yeah, once we get the policy, we want to move forward with informing them. And really, the teeth of the policy is more for the unexcused absences. And the only requirement with the chronically absent, even though they're present students, is to notify them. There's not a lot of rules that then we have to have the same follow-through as the unexcused, but you still have to have contact. And so someone still needs to mark all that, someone still needs to track that, someone still needs to generate the letters, and someone still needs to get it into the hands of the students and the parents and make sure that they've been notified. So,
But I think it would be important to tell them ahead of time in writing.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And one of the things we're doing is we're working with Butler County Educational Service Center so that all of the school districts in Butler County are using the same timeline and the same letters, the same form letters. That way it's consistent throughout the entire county. That way, if unfortunately a student would end up going to court, juvenile court, the same process has been followed throughout the entire county.
Okay.
So trying uniformity throughout the whole county office as well.
I had a question on one more policy, 8330, the Safe at Home program, referring to school records. Do you know what that program is?
No, I can look into it though. If we need to research it, definitely look into it. 8330.
Thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions for Rob? Seeing none, thank you, Rob. Butler Tech.
Next meeting will be a week from Tuesday, and we haven't discussed anything since then. We haven't had a meeting since the last time we had a meeting here. But remember what I said, the thing that we're looking at right now is the Phase 2 in the bioscience building. So hopefully we'll decide on putting that out to bid with a developer and see, what kind of strategy we're going to use on that. So I'll let you know.
Are they thinking building onto that building? or
Well,
building
there's a
separate?
possibility, no, there's property around the side of it and everything. That's what they're looking at, developing that. And, they're looking at, because of bioscience and because of what we've got there, there's a lot of hospitals were thinking about putting something on that site there. But it would, whatever they do, or whoever we go with, will have to give us some incentive for that. So they're thinking that maybe we can build on top of the bioscience building as well. So we'll see what happens on that. So they're looking at going straight up on the bioscience building and developing that property right around the frontage road that leads to the bioscience building there, and developing that and then leasing, renting, or having somebody who wants to build on that property pay us to build, and then we'll have a long-term lease with them with benefits as far as building onto the bioscience building.
Okay. Community engagement.
There's several upcoming community conversations in the next few weeks. Randy sent an email out to all of us with those dates.
But it's important to note that the Ridge meeting got changed from the 21st to the 23rd, so if you have that on your calendar, make sure to note that change. So the next two that are coming up are the 22nd is Woodland, and the 23rd is Ridge. And then the 30th is Van Gordon after that.
And these are all the superintendent ones?
These are the staff meetings. So these are specific to staff, and then after that, we'll be getting into the broader community ones, but we're focusing in these first couple of months on the staff-focused meetings.
And we've done 3.
West, East, and Wyandotte.
So you're in high school, good.
Yeah.
Both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
And Matt, how have you found them to be?
Very informative. It's nice to get that feedback from the staff. Some things I was guessing about and was right. Some things I was guessing and not exactly right. So it's nice to get that from the staff.
Good.
Yeah. A lot of student focus from all 3 groups, which is great.
We definitely encourage staff to go to these because they're, well, now they're.
They've been very well attended.
Yeah, they're
now
showing up.
right after school.
Right.
I think,
Yeah.
so it's
It'll
not
probably be a little shorter, an hour, I think Randy said,
Yeah.
but
good. So definitely, if you're staff in those schools, try to attend. Anything else on community? District Parent Council,
Won't meet till September?
President's Council meets September 7th, I think, and DPC on the 16th.
Legislative Committee,
We've had quite a bit of individual efforts. I attended the OSBA statewide legislative platform committee on Saturday, August 5th, and the legislative update that you have at your seat, which will also be posted online, was given out that day. Quite a bit of information coming out on the biennium budget. Jenny attended a budget analysis today, which also included a legislative update, which she can talk about. And I also attended the Southwest OSBA Executive Committee meeting on August 7th in Yellow Springs. Quite a bit of changes going on in the leadership at OSB at this point in time. Capital Conference is on, and it will be shortened this year. Wednesday has been taken off the calendar for Capital Conference. So you'll need to plan to be there on Sunday through Tuesday. Jenny, did you want to talk about your meeting today?
I attended the BAD conference, the budget analysis and discussion. And it started out this morning with two legislators speaking to the crowd about the budget with a Q&A, which got quite interesting. Passionate people on both sides. And then Howard Fleeter, who's always good to listen to, broke down the budget. And for the financial folks, lots of charts and graphs that were relevant. But the one main thing with all of this is, while we're learning all of these nuts and bolts and all of the details, we will not see the really true picture of how this affects Lakota local schools until our first payment from the state in October.
Really?
So, yeah, I mean, they give us the estimates, and it's all estimates, but like all of the little details, we'll see all of those with what it really truly looks like for us with our first payment in October. So we'll know more then. Yeah, they make assumptions, and you know, we have as much information as what we quite possibly could have, but yeah, so more to come. always more to come.
And Jenny will post information on board docs for us from that. Matt, I know that you met with our state board representative.
I did. I met with Charlotte just last week. She was she listened close. We spent a lot of time together about what's going on in Columbus, but also what's going on in Southwest Ohio. And she's going to come back, and she's hoping to speak at a future board meeting, so I'm going to sync that up with her calendar. But I got a good feeling from her, and I think she'll listen.
And finally, the last thing, I'm working with Dr. Bob Summers and Congressman Warren Davidson's office to set up a summit at the end of September. It'll be 15 high-performing and innovative districts. And Matt has already been invited to be a part of that. And it'll be talking about best practices and driving innovation throughout the state of Ohio. So we'll be reporting back more on that. Anything else?
No, I think you hit it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Anything
thank
else,
you.
Jenny or Todd? That's it.
I assume the 15 innovative districts would be from all of Ohio, not just within Warren Davidson's district.
They are in Warren Davidson's district,
Okay.
6 counties,
How many school districts are in there?
almost 100.
Really? Oh, okay. Okay, thank you. Any questions for Linda? Raise your hand on that. Okay. Go on to treasurer's recommendations. Then we have 2 items for the treasurer: the approval of the board minutes and the approval of the K-12 school fees for the next school year, 17-18. Jenny, do you have any comments on either of those?
The school fees, just a note that no changes from last year on K through 8. And our high schools, there's always changes depending on the needs for those courses. Some of them went up, some of them went down from last year. The other thing that I wanted to make note of on the high schools fees is, remember we talked about the club card And the club card was only at our east campus. That will be at the east and west campus next year.
Good.
So you'll see that fee on there. So that will be consistent.
Are we charging the same amount as last year for that,
Yes,
Jenny?
$50.
Great.
Any questions for Jenny? I have a motion for treasurer's items A and B, the minutes and the school fees.
So moved.
Thank you. Have a second?
A second.
Thank you. Jenny, will you call the roll?
Mrs. O'Connor?
Yes?
Mr. Parnell?
Yes.
Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mrs. Schaefer?
Yes.
And Mr. Dibble?
Yes.
Thank you.
On to superintendent's recommendations, we've got personnel items, a preschool contract with Butler County ESC, board policies, which Rob mentioned earlier, a field trip, and donations. Do you have anything to go over on any of those?
Just Mr. Kramer and his office are still hiring. We had someone just today who was going to leave us, so not administrative, but pretty close. So we're still getting positions filled, but I think we're in a pretty good spot, albeit for that one. So I asked for your approval on that. The preschool contract, Linda did submit, it should be in board docs, but we can't find it today, a report about preschool, but it was positive. If any of you tried to get it in board docs today, it was not
Right.
easy. So we'll make sure that as soon as that gets corrected that you see that.
So we're showing improvement?
Correct.
I'm sorry, I can't even see you over the podium there.
Improvement in all areas.
Wonderful. Good.
So we'll make sure you get that. And then, Ben, as you had mentioned, Rob took care of the policies for the most part already. The trip is for Hopewell Jr. to DC, and then that you also have a list for approval of some donations.
Excellent. Do we have any questions on any of those items? Seeing none, I guess I'll take a motion to cover them all. So let's do superintendent's items A through E, which includes personnel items, preschool contract, board policies, field trip, and the donations. Do I have a motion for those items?
So moved.
Thank you, Linda.
Yes.
Thank you, Julie. Do you have any discussion? It's good to hear real data out of the preschool. We've been kind of concerned about
Helps.
that over the years, that don't really know if we're doing better or worse. It's good to have some data there. Okay, Jenny, will you call the roll?
Mrs. O'Connor?
Yes?
Mrs. Schaefer?
Yes.
Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Parnell?
Yes.
And Mr. Dibble?
Yes. We're really cruising through this thing. Closing comments. Jenny, we start on your side.
Record.
I really don't have any tonight, no.
Ray.
On the 16th, the first day of school, Hopewell Jr., well, we're going to do the fanfare for kids coming into school. It'll be the third year that we've done this. And the first two, there's one at 7 o'clock at Hopewell, and there's one at 9:45 at Independence. If anybody can make it to that, be really appreciated. And just wanted to say how exciting it's been the last week, or a couple of weeks we've had here with the teachers coming, and what you did with the school opening day was just fantastic. It had nothing but great comments. They loved you. They loved the speech. And I don't know, did I show you the email that a lady sent me from Facebook, how she had been a teacher here for 30 years, and she just loves to see, because she knew about the cuts and all of that. She was through that. And now that we're rebounding like we are, and stable and financially stable, and the excitement that you've generated is just fun to see. So let's keep that up, everybody, and roll right into the year.
Todd.
Yeah, I can't believe it's 2 days away, but yeah, the kickoff to the year was fantastic. It was exciting. I think everybody was excited, and it was very well attended. So great job on that. And
Good team effort.
looking forward to Wednesday. So,
Julie.
Looking forward to having all the students back. It's a wonderful energy in all the buildings and all the hard work that's happened over the summer, getting everything prepared for everyone to be back in the buildings. So looking forward to a great start and the momentum to continue to build into a great school year this year.
Linda?
Wishing everyone from our custodians to our treasurer and superintendent a great school year, and convocation was an excellent start to it, so thank you, and thanks for all the good work you both are doing.
Good team effort. I'm going to defer to Rob real quick, who has the answer to the question earlier about
That
the
is
new policy.
very speedy service,
I
Rob.
saw him running up the steps.
Don't get used to it. You asked about the Safe at Home program. That is out of House Bill 359, in which an adult can apply to the Secretary of State for an alternative address in order to protect their true address, and those are for adults who have a member of their household who is a victim of domestic violence or stalking or some form of horrific tragedy in their life, and it protects their true residency. So you'll see that show up in 3 of our policies as far as when it comes with student records, that is one area where a student record may say an address that is not really their address. So.
Good to know, thank you.
Thanks, Rob. Just one last thing real quick, if I can. Rob and I and Keith, Coney, and I think Lauren, and probably some other members of the executive team are going to try to get to all the buildings on Wednesday. So it'll be fast, but yeah, we'll see.
Get the helicopter for today?
Well, we'll get some special dispensation for moving, let's say.
Open all those
Right.
closed roads for you?
Right, I don't know about that, but we'll try, we'll see. So we're looking forward to that, and just getting into the buildings will be good for us.
Excellent.
Thanks.
For one, I want to mention that we're going to go into executive session after this, so I'll do that in a minute. But I also thought the convocation was great. There were pieces of it that were just extraordinary because, like, the resource officers were there.
Yep.
I didn't expect to see the resource. I mean, I know they're sort of on our staff, they're part of the team, but
That was great.
there they were, joining in and getting that common message. And I think that's really cool that we had everybody there.
And one got a shout out in the video, too.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
So that was cool. And I was glad that they saw that, yeah.
Custodians.
Right.
Yeah, if people haven't seen the video, I'm sure it's up on our website.
It is.
Definitely take a couple minutes and watch it. It actually, I watched it when I got back home because so many people were enjoying it in the crowd that there were pieces that you missed entirely because everybody was, laughing at something or saying, "Aw."
Right.
And all of a sudden you missed half of what the next little kid said. So yeah, it was fun to do that. The other thing is that it's fun seeing our kids doing great things, but it's one of our vision statements is in igniting passion. And I went to a concert quite a while ago now, back in June, but I missed the July meeting. But there are 6 Lakota kids who are in college now, still getting together and making music, which is just really, when you get that passion for something and then it continues on, it's like, a couple of teachers did a great job inspiring those kids. So
Amen.
it was inspiring to see them. So with that, I'm going to pull us into executive session to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public official. We will be coming out of executive session, and we will not be making any decisions after. That will just be adjourning. So
Do you need a motion to move into executive session?
I do. Thank you, Linda.
I will be happy to provide that.
Thank you, Linda. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Jenny, will you call the roll?
Mrs. O'Connor?
Yes.
Mr. Parnell?
Yes.
Mr. Murray? Mrs. Schaefer?
Yes.
And Mr. Dibble?
Yes.